So let us start with Harjit ma'am. So ma'am, what is it about poetry that inspired you to start writing?
Good evening, everyone. Or is it good afternoon? Well, what inspires one to write poems is mostly your experience, which touch you intensely. It may be sorrow, it may be happiness, it may be a traumatic experience. So I feel these poems that I have written, they are the outpourings of my sensitive heart. They come out of your heart and your soul speaks. I feel you don't have to give it words at all. Just words stumble on their own. You pick up a scrap of paper and you write down. If you don't have anything else, maybe on a piece of napkin you write down, because otherwise one forgets later on. Thank you.
Read something from your. You could read something from your poetry.
While sitting?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay. Now this is something which will interest you all, because here we are older people as well as youngsters. Some youngsters feel that age cannot love. But I have written, love ageless. Age is no bar to love. The body ages, flesh crumbles. Maturity is of the mind, not the soul, which wanders like a beautiful queen hovering magnetically on its own. Lust is food for the body, but love is food for the soul.
thank you so much, ma'am. That was indeed food for thought. So now coming to Jugran sir. So sir, the first thing that catches our attention is you are a lawyer first, and then you foray into the world of literature. So how did that happen?
Hello. Okay. So this question is often asked. Being a lawyer, how do you get into literature? I believe that the drier your profession is, the more the need for rain. Yeah, you need the emotional rain, the music of life, the music of emotions, the throbbing of your heart. You need to feel all that, and whether you like it or not, lawyers are human beings. And we are given to writing. We write dry stuff. उसने उसको मार दिया, इतने पैसे लेने हैं, that kind of stuff. The emotion is missing in that writing. But once in a while, events happen, as ma'am alluded to. It could be sorrow, it could be loss, it could be anything. And while I wrote as a teenager to try and make girlfriends and try and make girlfriends for others, and some of them got married and their children now call me Dadaji and whatever. But I then forgot writing because I'm a Dehradun boy. I went to Delhi, I ran law practice, I still do a little bit of work. And I forgot about my poetry. And then came COVID. Suddenly you were sitting at home and you could hear the sirens. You could feel the loss palpable. And you couldn't sleep. So a Hindi poet asked me, "आप क्या लिखते हैं? किस विधा में लिखते हैं? In which form do you write?" So my answer to him was, मैं दुविधा में लिखता हूँ. दुविधा ऐसी कि नींद नहीं आती. भाई अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपका पड़ोसी तकलीफ में है and you can't reach him, at least as a human being you cannot sleep. Next morning you discover कि वो नहीं रहे, उनको उठाने वाला भी नहीं था. So all those feelings led to my first poetry collection, and by and large It's people around me, whatever I observe, whatever I see. So I can kind of travel from being an imagist, whatever I see, to whatever doesn't let me sleep. That becomes my poetry by and large. It happens. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes,
How
it
many marks do
does.
you win?
Oh, I have no answer. So can you share anything which has really, maybe not let you sleep?
Yeah, it's not that difficult these days. There are many things that are not letting you sleep. And you would agree that the war is one such thing, that you're watching channels, etc., and there's news of war, death. So sunflower, you know, that is the national flower of Ukraine. Peace, hope, and resilience. Beautiful sunflowers represent. They grow and no soil resent. Before losing his balance, Vincent van Gogh painted them again and again, training from vases, some withering in vain. Did he know that for seemingly balanced madmen, other than emerging from the graves of their brethren, and other than following sun all day, to salute the unnamed martyrs in silence, they will not be enough to inspire peace, hope, and resilience. Still, when the bears descended with arms upon Kherson across the Black Sea waters, a gritty old lady, undeterred by their approach, confronted them with all her bold reproach. She said to the one leading them, "Here, take these seeds and put them in your pockets. So some sunflowers may grow where you devil drop dead." Yes, the frail lady held her ground unarmed and cursed wanting him instantly dead. But he was under some cold command, so he let her go away unharmed. She is now a star among the braves, but unbeknownst to her enemies, she had given such seeds to her husband and her dear sons, fighting the war in winter, digging many more pits for unmarked graves, from which sunflowers shall emerge in spring, all blind to the dying and all deaf to the dirge.
Thank you, sir. Only poetry can also make war and the battlefield sound so resonating with the soul. So, coming to you, Deepanjali ma'am, you are an author also, like sir, and you have also entered into the realm of poetry. So, how is it different from? And you're a director also at Learntastic, right? So, is it also a place where you find yourself, slowly being swallowed by literature, or is it becomes a place for advocacy for you, poetry as a genre?
Thank you for the question. Um, Actually, both writing a book and poetry just happened to me. I'd never thought that I'll be an author or a poet. And as the director of Learntastic during COVID times, we were supposed to do online classes. And one of them was that we had to put up a play online with the little ones on Tiger's Day. So I wrote the script for that, and the story was about tigers. And there were these little kids in the online class, and I was trying to explain to them what is a tiger. And what caught my attention was that most of them had not seen a tiger in real. And it just saddened me that so many children these days are spending more time on the mobile, or parents prefer going to malls rather than parks because it's easier. So it came to me that, when there are so many children who don't know about tigers, maybe the script that I wrote should be converted into a book. So that's how my first book happened. And ever since then, I've just been writing stories one after the other. And if you read my blog on Times of India, it's got to do more with, what works for children and, connectivity to nature, how we need to get back to nature. And poetry came to me, I would say, I would dedicate it to my daughters, because during the lockdown, like you just mentioned, that I paint, I'm a photographer, I do a lot of other creative things. I had given up on all that when I lost my parents. So during lockdown, my daughters, they said that, we are going to paint, but we are going to paint only if you teach us. So I went back to painting. Somehow I also went back to poetry, and I started writing. And my first poem was actually about my daughters and something about dreams. So that's how it came about, and ever since then I've just been writing, and I do write most of the scripts for my company Learntastic.
So if you could recite something.
Since we are celebrating 25 years of Uttarakhand, I had decided to leave. I had decided to read out two love poems, but since we started the session talking about Uttarakhand before we began this, there was a quiz going on. So I decided to change my sequence, and there's one that I wrote while standing in my balcony. You can see the Mussoorie Hills, and it was a beautiful sunset, and slowly the sky was changing color. It turned a beautiful orange, then it turned purple, and then you could see the Mussoorie lights and the stars in the sky. So it goes like this. Sky fell in love with the earth. When the sky saw the earth, it felt like a new birth. He expressed his heart's flutter with a bright sun. He spotlighted her with the light of the moon. The clouds came down and kissed the earth. The earth blushed, and sun turned a crimson red. The sky turned into an orange sea. The stars slowly came out to defend the earth's honor. But the earth stopped them, for she also fell in love with the sky. She expressed her love, the reflections of the sun, the stars, and the moon in the big waters. So when the sky fell in love with the earth, it felt like a new birth. Thank you. That was me describing the sunset over Mussoorie.
Thank you, ma'am. So we all must have seen this vision, imagery of Missouri ever, and maybe these were the right words to actually pen it down with. So, Shubra ma'am, you're a career counselor also, and we saw three different. So from love we went to a battlefield and to nature. So what do you think? In your because psychology is something that is very very deeply connected to poetry. So is your poetry a reflection of whatever you think your experiences, what has inspired you to write?
Thank you. Uh, Psychology I took up a lot later. I've done my master's in psychology. Also, I've been writing since I was in school, but I did not save most of it. And the collection that I have with me, the book that I have authored, it contains poems which are like 20 years old. I only got inspired by my daughter, who is also a published author. She has written 2 books. She inspired me to publish all my writings. So yeah, maybe the psychologist in me always wanted to write, but yeah, maybe.
If you could please recite something from your storehouse.
I would take you back to the battlefield a little bit. So this is a poem I'd written at the time of Operation Sindoor. most of us are not pro-war. Me too. I do not like war at all. But I've been thinking, what must be going through the hearts of the people who have lost their very near and dear ones. So this is a poem dedicated to all the soldiers all over the world, not only of Operation Sindoor. He kissed her once beneath the tree, where spring had draped its finery. His hands warm, his voice true, a soldier's word, a husband's too. He told her to be strong and not cry. He said he'd write and the days will fly by. But letters stopped and silence grew. And then they knocked. We grieve with you. They gave her a medal and a flag and words that fell like heavy rags. He died for his country, they said, but none could warm her empty bed. She walks the house where laughter died and sweeps the floor where once love lived. His boots are still beside the door. Once he won't walk in anymore. Most nights she hears the sound of battles raging underground, while others cheer and call it pride. She knows the cost of the one who died. So raise your flag and sound your horn, but spare a thought for those who are still mourn, those who still mourn. For every war leaves behind a hand searching for the other they will never find. Thank you.
That was very heart touching, ma'am. Only I think a psychologist could do justice to this. So, Nikita, coming to you. You have published 2 books, I believe, right? And Your Emotions, My Words, and Life Happens. So, what is your take on the genre of poetry, again, in the contemporary scenario? Or what are the themes that you like to write about?
Is it working? Yeah. Actually, like my book already says, your emotions, my words, and life happens. My poetry or my writing is more about life and emotions and how I see the world, maybe a bit differently. So that is what I have done in the first one, which is the poetry itself. And the second one is a non-fiction though, but it is more poetic than the first, I feel, because of more experience and yes, life happens to everyone. So.
So, any particular poem that, or maybe the first one, which is maybe your favorite amongst the anthology that you have?
Uh, the favorite one, if you ask, actually, like Aditi, you introduced the intergenerational panel we have, and you refer to me as a Gen Z. I was the one who was being referred as a Gen Z. So Gen Z sees the world in a very intermingled, in a very complicated way, I would say. So for us, colors are not just colors, they turn into people. And if I may tell, yellow is a color, and yellow we refer to as a person who radiates positivity, warmth, and who gives us peace. So my poetry is about one such person. So, like I would say, some people enter your life and make it feel yellow. These are the friendships which skyrocket from a simple hello. They listen, they smile, they understand, and they accept. You open your heart to them and feel the respect. You feel encouraged, you feel powerful. They are the ones who make you believe that the world is still beautiful. Open your mind and heal your heart. Let your past experiences depart. Be open to the love. Be receptive of the care. Fold your hands because they are here. These gems are rare to find and rarer to maintain because they make you believe in the color yellow again.
That is very true. Nikita, thank you. So when you talk about gems, so coming back to Harjit ma'am, so ma'am, would you like to please recite another of your poems?
This one is one of my favorite ones, and I'm sure most of you have gone through this situation. All my poems are on abstract topics, and this one is on infatuation. We have so many crushes, infatuated by people. What happens? Oh, you intruder, you come like a storm proclaiming passion and go off like a hurricane, shaking the beautiful shrine of my soul's domain. Let me change this voice of this whistling, reeling wind into a song made sweeter by my loving. Let me enfold you in my walls sublime and graceful pillars of this temple body where resides the divine. Let reason transform this gushing turmoil into tranquility and serenity of the mind to illumine the path of our lives. It inspires, it motivates you, the infatuation. That's it. Can I continue with the story? Okay. Now, at times it so happens that you cannot tell somebody that you love or something, and there is silence. So something triggered, and I wrote on silence. Silence speaks, but silence kills when you do not tell how much you how much you miss to share, though aware, yet do not dare to declare your constricting feelings to the one you love. That happens, girls. Now comes the topic, a taboo one. At least it was taboo during my growing up periods. No one dared say anything, never take the initiative to say something. One day I asked my father, what is it? He said, I don't know. Well, I wrote, the topic is sex. No brickbats, I hope. A powerful instinct, vulgarized by human lust, sprouting from a tiny seed amidst curly, wicked weeds, ensconced in the seat of love, growing, growing, and growing, percolating every niche and pore, titillating sensation, bewildering the mind, suppressing the intelligence, ready to explode into sparkles of joy, craving possession, craving union, a union with love. It should be complete with love. At first, it is just a physical attraction, tempting two bodies to come close, to touch, to taste, to interlock into each other in everlasting glory of happiness. Is it transitory? Ever since infancy, the seed percolating sensation on beholding beauty of the object of love, languishing clingingly with delight, but having to control its tendril growth until the hour right. And what is the right hour? Wedding, marriage. A piece of paper, a religious ceremony sanctioning the conjugal bliss is only a permission for prostitution when the union is bereft of love. Society, what does society have to say about it? Lee said the best. When widowed, single, or divorced, forbids the natural emotional explosion to feel its intensity and to appease until it dries and shrivels, but secretly kept alive in delaying, dallying looks and soulless, searing sight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So after this, it reminds me of T.S. Eliot when he said, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. So coming to you, sir, so you've recently published a book on haiku on Hana Tower. So if you could throw some light on that book, I was very curious when I read the title.
Hello. So the book is here. I was just thinking while ma'am was reading her lovely poems, whether it is appropriate to read any haiku here. While you say yes, I say no. We will read, and I hope that leaves a little bit of time to read some other poetry. So haiku is essentially, 17 syllables poetry, 3 lines, 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the last. And then it ends. Hopefully, with a sense of epiphany, some finding, some breakthrough, something that strikes you, something that wakes you, something that awakens you. So that's haiku. Yeah, it's Japanese style. So brevity is the beauty of haiku. And as I said, only 17 syllables are permitted in the traditional haiku. Modern haiku breaks the law, as do the Zenzis here. So they are permitted. So I'll just read some haikus that I've composed around Dehradun and the Uttarakhand areas. So the feeling of the morning in the hills, if you listen carefully, a pause before dawn, in a medley of bird songs, then the rooster crows. So generally, the epiphany here is that generally we believe that when the rooster crows, it's the morning time. Actually, the songbirds come first. Yeah? So that's just an example. I'll read a few more because I am hell-bent on reading some other poetry.
I love haiku.
Okay, good. We need people who love haiku. So then, this is a common experience. Restlessness at night. We all tend to be restless at night. Remains unrefreshed at dawn. Yesterday's tired eyes. Many of us, even in this audience, are seeing us with yesterday's tired eyes. We, of course, some of us were nervous about coming here, so we have tired eyes looking at you. Yeah. So, let's see. Then we all have undertaken pilgrimages. So this is walking up Surkunda Devi temple. Temple on the hill. The sound of beating drums. Last mile in a trance. Actually not a mile, but maybe the last 200 meters, 300 meters, you can hear. And particularly if you don't go from the side of the steps. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll repeat that. Aditi has kept the better mic with herself. So, sorry. So this is a haiku which happened to me as I was walking up Surkanda Devi temple. Two words. Temple on the hill, the sound of beating drums, last mile in a trance. So if you approach the Surkanda temple, not from the staircase, there's another entry through the forest, and you can't see the temple at all, and suddenly you hear the drums. Then your body says, okay, it's there, you've reached. So that kind of a feeling is what I wanted to capture. Then we all grow flowers and we watch them in the morning or sometime. The quivering tells when the flower quivers. Be inside the nasturtium, stealing its sweetness. So that's nasturtiums, everybody's probably seen. On the love side, as ma'am alluded to, a butterfly's kiss, flowers color on her wings, love's gentle barter. That's how the butterflies are. I'll drop haiku for the time being, a bit esoteric, but that's it. I would recommend that people experiment with haiku, it's beautiful. And with your permission, Aditi, you're the boss. So may I read a Hindi poem and then a translation of it in English? Is that okay? Grudgingly okay? Okay. Only the English one? Such prejudice. You didn't invite me there, so I have to, find it. Never give the mic to a poet. So this poem, which was written in Hindi, it was called Tum Rehna Nayan. It's available on YouTube. Some of my poems have been done by voice artists there on YouTube. So the English translation is Swim in My Eyes. In the final moments of my life, when time cuffs my limbs, when my pupil stare fixed, in those weary times, you swim in my eyes. When my breaking breath unfolds new riddles, and my mind returns to long lost childhood, to play with my siblings and buddies, in the last moment of that play, you swim in my eyes. When Yama, the tireless tempter, casts his net over my house and garden, to carry away all the butterflies of my body, into the far-off skies, you swim in my eyes. In the final moments of my life, when in a flash the moment would plunge into darkness, when my breath would begin to wane, then in that loneliness, you swim in my eyes.
And I hope that we get time to hear the Hindi translation too, because it sounded so beautiful. So Deepanjali ma'am, coming to you, what do you have more in store for us?
I won't take too much of your time. I've got 2 love poems, and I didn't mean it for you. I meant for her because moderator's job is really tough. So, 2 love poems, and of course the one that I dedicate to my daughters. So the first love poem is, My love is forever. My love is not like the waves that change every minute. It is not like the weather that changes with every season. My love is not like the leaves that shed when autumn comes. It is not like the sun that sets when night comes. My love is deep like the ocean. It's as big as the desert and as warm as the desert heat. My love is like a mountain that stands strong through the years. My love is forever. Okay, sometimes it's very difficult to explain to someone what they mean to you. Um, so this is basically talking about that how do I tell you what you mean to me? What you are to me. How do I tell you what you are to me? You to me are what the sun is to a sunflower. You to me are like the flowers are to a bee. You to me are like the sweet song of a nightingale to the ears. You to me are like a chocolate to a child. You to me are like a wave to a surfer. You to me are my whole world. So, how do I tell you what you are to me? Okay, this is the one that I wrote for my daughters, and I'm sure a lot of you who have daughters will actually connect with it. Daughters. Daughters are the little heartbeats. They are sweeter than little treats. They warm your heart more than 1,000 suns. They shine brighter than 1,000 moons. Shinier and brighter than the stars, their giggle fills your heart with tickles. Their non-stop stories worth more than nickels. The singing, the dancing and prancing with joy all fill your heart with joy and toy. Daughters are the blessings and love. Daughters are the loving doves. Daughters are the little heartbeats. Sorry?
The line was they warm your heart more than 1,000 suns.
Yes.
SONS?
Yes, S-U-N-S.
Okay, fair enough.
S-U-N-S. Not S-O-N-S. I'm talking about this sun. Also, the cover of my book has been designed by my elder daughter. This is her painting that I used. It's a sunflower and it's called Spring Breeze, and then she wanted to create the breeze. So all these little spots with the watercolor are that breeze. And inside the book there are little sketches that are done by both of them.
Shubra ma'am, coming to you.
The second poem that I want to recite today is its title is The First Voice and the Last Goodbye. I wrote this in memory of my mother, whom I lost during COVID. So here goes. Yours was the first voice I ever knew, a hum in the darkness of the womb, a lullaby before the beginning of the world. Before I breathed, I heard you. And through that sacred sound, my soul was tethered to yours. Your voice calmed my cries when I was a newborn, warm as milk, soft as dusk. The only thing that made sense when the world was too big, too loud. You were my lifeline, the rhythm that kept me going. Through scraped knees and stubborn tantrums, through school days and Monday mornings, you were always there, cheering the loudest, smiling the wildest, the force behind my every step. As a teenager, when I pulled away, you held your ground with love, your faith in me never flinching. Even though I didn't make it easy, you stood by me in every dream, big or small, silly or wild. You believed in me before I did. Now that I'm worldly wise, people say that I am strong, but they don't see the days I ache to call you, to hear that voice again. The one that was the lullaby. Losing you was like losing the ground beneath me, the most heartbreaking, soul-shattering moment of my life. A silence too deep to name, a wound too deep to heal. I miss you, but I carry you with every breath. For a love like yours builds and stays. It will light my soul for the rest of my days. Thank you.
coming to our last poet of the day, and we'll quickly wrap up with just one poem, if that's okay. Nikita, over to you.
Uh, okay. So this poem is about like how we post so much in social media about mental health and people who have passed away, or about people who committed suicide and celebrities, but we don't really check up on people who are around us for that matter. Okay, so the name is Demons. After he's gone, you say, why didn't you tell? You really think this statement now can break the spell? You are going about questioning and regretting. Where were you when they needed help venting? It's never too late is a frame long lost its meaning. On those days, you chose not to answer their texts and now you're screening? You got all the time to listen to them now and hear them well. What were you thinking when you pushed them off the edge and left them in hell? Posting now for strangers can't reduce your guilt. If you really want to improve, then start to rebuild. Because demons don't just live under our bed, but mostly in your head.
Thank you so much. Actually, we are falling short of time. Uh, so, uh, okay, so actually, Ma'am has written a folk song, and she really wanted to, end the evening with it. It's a very peppy number. She sung that to me, so so we'll end with that, right? And but before that, thank you everyone for being here. This has really been a soul for food session, and I really apologize if we could not do justice to your poetry, but we would love to have you again, all of you. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, the last, yeah.
Is
Thank
it
you.
on? Can you hear me? Yeah. I wrote this folk song while I was working in the British High Commission. Then these boys from Punjab would come marry girls from England, and some came from England, married girls from Punjab and left them behind. But one of them wrote a letter to his bride and said that he was going to come back to meet her. So she's very excited. So she tells her mother-in-law, मेरा लाल पुरंद लहरावे पतला जे अलक बल खावे तो पेकिया तो आ गईया ससे निपेकिया तो आ गईया तेरे पुत ने बले तो ओना तेरे पुत ने बले तो ओना नवा कगरा दे समाउना तो फुलकारी दा पाउना तो नच नच में गिद्दा पाउना नी कगरे नू कुंगरू लुआ दे सस्से नी कगरे नू कुंगरू लुआ दे सस्से फिर वो कहती है कि मैं हरी चूड़ियाँ पावांगी तो फिर ਉਹਦੇ ਨਖਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਹਿਣੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਡਾਰਕ ਰੰਗ ਦੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ गुलाबी रंग विच काला फब जावे तो गोरियां नू भुल जाऊगा सस्से नी गोरियां नू भुल जाऊगा मेरा लाल पुरन लहरावे पतला जे अलक बल खावे. Last one I won't sing but I'll tell you. She says के वेड़े विच नहीं सोना उन्हें कोठे ते मंजा डाउना तो आपा ने पूरी मजदा है दूध पिलाना तो मिल्क शेक भूल जाऊंगा सस्से नी मिल्क शेक भूल जाऊंगा. This is a modern folk song going with the time. Thank you.